Hello, everyone, and you are looking live at the Kearney High School Stadium, where tonight we got one of the best rivalries in the state of Nebraska between the Grand Island Islanders and the home Kearney High School Bearcats. Hello, I am your host, Jeff Ekstrom, along with my partners Sean Carson, Zach Warnke, and Cannon Rath. We will be joined shortly by my colorman Nate Mishu. First, let's get you the starters. We'll start with Grand Island. First is a sophomore, number 2, Anna Osejo. We got a forward, a freshman, number 4, Katie Zulo. Then a junior, number 6, Christina Palma. Then a junior, number 7, Vitalik Para Valencia. Then a sophomore, number 11, Olivia Mitteman. Then a sophomore as well, number 12, Sydney Williams. Then a senior, number 13, Melissa Contreras. A sophomore, number 14, Carla Hernandez. A sophomore, number 16, Jacqueline Cobarrubias. Then a freshman, number 30, Kelly Contreras. And in goal, a senior, number 46, Jordan Giddison. The head coach of the Islanders is Coach Deborah Carpenter, assisted by Brendan Hannafy and Kara Lemberg. Now, the starters for the Bearcats. Starting first is a senior, number 1, Whitney Straka. Then a freshman, number 3, Avery Collison. Then a sophomore, number 5, forward, Alexis Mishu. Then a freshman, number 6, Sydney Wheeler. Then we got a sophomore, number 9, Jordan Coates. Number 10, another sophomore, Allie Trout. A senior 4, number 11, Rihanna Bennett. Then number 12, a sophomore, Hannah Hardy. Then a freshman, number 14, Lexi Levine. And then the senior defender, number 19, Lawrence Strubing. And in goal is number 00, Reagan Heelan. She is a freshman as well. Head coach is Tammy Anderson, assisted by Laren Rao, Talisha Carrison, and Whitney Brown. We'll take a break. Be back with Kearney and Grand Island. And we welcome you back here to Kearney for the kickoff between Kearney and Grand Island. This girls' soccer match coming in to this game. Kearney sets a record at 6-4, coming with a victory over Holdridge Tuesday night, 4-1, where sophomore Alexis Mishu led the team with a hat trick. Then for Grand Island, they are 3-6. Finishing about 6th or 7th in the Heartland's Athletic Conference Tournament. Won the opening game against Fremont. They lost in their opening game against Fremont, beat Lincoln Southeast, and then lost in the finale to finish around the 6th or 7th spot. Kearney, in the GNAC tournament, competed last weekend. They finished 5th overall, lost to Columbus in a shootout. It was a close one in the opening round. Kearney was the 4 seed, while Columbus was the 5 seed. Went on, beat Lexington by a score of 8-1, then went on to face Gering and beat them 5-0 to finish 5th place in the GNAC. Of course, Kearney is going to be moving on to the Heartland's Athletic Conference at the beginning of the 2018-2019 school year. That Heartland's Athletic Conference consists of Grand Island, Fremont, all the Lincoln schools, and we'll add Norfolk, Lincoln Pius, and Kearney. As right before kickoff, we are joined by my color man, Robert Mishu. How you doing, Robert?
Doing great. Great to be here again. A couple minutes of girls soccer today before we get ready for the boys.
And we are underway here in Kearney, one of the best rivalries in the state. It's going to be a fun one, especially tonight's game of the battle of conference champions. Kearney winning the GNAC and the boys, and Grand Island are winning the Heartland's Athletic Conference. As we begin here, we got Lexi Levine in the attacking third, getting some offensive pressure early. Bearcats trying to establish something offensively here early on. They were able to do that Tuesday night against Holdridge, winning 4-1. So, Robert, when we mentioned the Holdridge game, what did you see offensively that really impressed you for Kearney?
There's a lot of possession, I thought. A good offensive push. I thought the ball was down on our offensive end most of the game. I think Coach Anderson will be looking for the same thing tonight, keeping that pressure, that intense pressure up. Hopefully get a couple different goal scorers tonight. Remember from Holdridge, Alexis Mishu had a hat trick, and then Ashley Rhineline put one in for the fourth one. But I think Coach Anderson likes to see more people score, more people have opportunities.
And Kearney, a very young team, losing a lot of seniors from last year's state tournament team. They a little in a funk the earlier season, tried to get something with multiple formations. They tried a 4-2-3-1 and a 4-4-2, but they finally got their groove going when they switched to the 4-3-3, and that's, I think, same starting lineup, same formation as we see in this Grand Island game.
Yeah, I think Coach Anderson settled on the 4-3-3 here. On the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-2-2 are good formations if you're trying to keep people out of the goal. They're very conservative, but they were developing no offensive pressure. The 4-3-3 gives you the opportunity a lot more. Still protect that net, your own net, by keeping things compact in the middle, but allowing you to push up a little bit, have an extra person up there in the attack. So I think she'll stick with this, obviously tonight, but probably the rest of the season. I can see her adjust if they're playing a team that has maybe a little more high-powered offense, or they're losing possession, or just too much pressure on net. I can see her going back to a 4-2-2 or even 4-2-3-1, a little extra defender that way. But I don't think she likes having the lack of offensive presence there. It's great to keep people out of your net, but if you can't score, it doesn't matter.
As we see early on, Allie Trout with the pressure. Going to try to get it to Bennett on the far side. Pass was a little short, but Bennett's going to regain possession. And as we talked about Tuesday as well, it was kind of thing where Alexis Mishu up front moved her to the back near the end of the game.
Right.
And so that flexibility allows her to switch to a more offensive-minded formation compared to a defensive-minded.
Yeah, for sure. And you notice, Jeff, she did that right after they gave up that goal. I think you'll see the same thing tonight if that would happen. If they get a lead, and to protect that lead a little bit, they'll move her back. She gives that speed in the middle and in the back as well as the top.
A header chance for Levine goes out. That was a corner by Lauren Strubing, as she'll take the majority of the corners for Kearney. Other person will be Jordan Coates. Now, as we look at the regular season between these two teams, it's been Kearney. They've won 12 out of the last 13 matches, 12-1 against GI since 2004. Grand Island trying to pick up their first victory over the Bearcats since 2008. So it's been a little lopsided here in this rivalry, as we see here a chance for Grand Island, but I think might have been offside there. Heelan will come with the stop. And so
far, Grand Island's looking pretty organized. They've had their struggles in the past, the past years and early this season, but right now they're doing a nice job of staying compact, and you see the back line is holding tight pretty much right now. Run the four backs as well, which they'll have to do with our three players up top. Those outside strikers will be cutting in the middle and be really important for those outside defenders to stay with them, preferably ball side. We'll see if they can do that or not.
As we got Alexis Mishu on the far sideline, she's going to make a couple moves. Tries to center it. It looks like Bennett shot off the top post.
That's a great play right there. Alexis had a nice, timely cross. She took her time, waited for Bennett to make the run. Bennett hit a nice hard shot off the crossbar, unfortunately. If they do that again, it's going to work. Defense for Grand Island had no idea what was going on there.
So a great opportunity early for Kearney to get on the board, but it was too high. Went off the top crossbar. And here's Levine trying to get a chance. It will be a throw-in. And it looked like it went off a Bearcat, so the Islanders will throw it in. So good chance there in the middle. Kind of left Bennett open for that one-timer there in the middle of the field.
Bennett did a nice job of doing what the formation asks you to do. Alexis, from the that center striker, that target forward, she took the ball, and the ball was passed her on the outside in that space, so she's out on the outside, and Bennett does a nice job of coming in and replacing her in the middle right there. Stayed high where the defenders weren't. Nice ball across, so you can't get much closer than that than scoring a goal right away.
And it's going to be important for both teams to try to get this first goal here as we look at the statistics. Kearney 6-1 when they score the first goal, and Grand Island, all three of their victories have been when they scored the first goal as well.
Right. I think we talked about the holders a little bit. It's a huge advantage in soccer when you score first. It changes completely what the team has to do.
Here's Coates again. It was stolen away by an Islander.
Jordan did a nice job of getting that ball back right there. She got fouled as well, too, so even better.
So we are just a little below 7 minutes into this rivalry game. Tied at 0. Kearney probably the pivotal favorite. Sits 6-4 while Grand Island sits at 3-6. But when it comes to Grand Island and Kearney, you kind of got to throw the records away.
I agree. Every sport, right? Everything. Football, basketball, volleyball, everything. Doesn't matter what type of season each team is having. When we play against Grand Island, be it in Grand Island or Kearney, it's always a fight. It's exciting. I mean, it's a great night out here tonight. The weather's nice. I kind of appreciate the overcast a little bit, actually.
Yeah.
Not too hot down on the turf. It'll heat up down there. It'll heat up in the field, though.
Don't think you could ask for a better day here for some soccer. As Lexi Levine takes it near sideline, it's going to be hit out, so Bearcat still with possession. And Wheeler throws it down for Levine. Again, the forward core for Kearney, relatively young. A freshman in Levine, a sophomore in Michoud, and then a senior in Bennett. Bearcats have plenty of underclassmen on their team, so they're going to be good for, I would think they're going to be good here in the future and for a little while.
Yeah, should be. Nice recovery from this play right there.
As it's being played here at around the midfield. Grand Island not really able to establish much offensively yet. Kearney with most of the possession. Again, the one huge chance for Kearney early on was the Rhiannon Bennett shot that went off the top post on the good pass by Alexis Michoud.
Jeff, I think the crowd's enjoying themselves.
Yeah. Here's some laughter. Not bad of a rowdy crowd considering.
And that'll grow. As soon as track's over, all the other practices are over, I think you'll see the crowd, especially the student section, get bigger.
So not bad of a crowd for an early 5 o'clock game. Of course, you got to think it'd grow substantially closer to 7 for the boys' game, Battle of Conference Champions. As the Bearcats will have a throw-in here with a little under 9 minutes into this first half.
The thing I noticed a little different from Holdridge there is that they play the two mids in the middle, of course, Straka and, I lost my train of thought, Trout. Trout's pushed up a little higher. Straka's one kind of hanging back a little bit, and Trout's been pushing up. Now Straka goes up, and Trout hangs back a little bit. It's a great way to play that system right there. Gives you a little bit of offense. Now Trout's kind of trailing there, get 2 extra offensive players up in there.
As Wheeler is going to throw it and try to get it to Levine. Reflection is going to be the Trout. She's going to take a shot once it goes over the net. And only if it was a field goal, count for 3 points, but that's not how it works.
No, it would be nice if it did, you know. There's sometimes in soccer you need to have a goal that's worth more than one.
So goal kick coming for Grand Island. Again, they haven't been able to establish much offensively here early on. As we see, Straka is going to play it in, and little collision there between Islander and Mishu. Now he's going to try to play it in Mishu and pass too much, and it's going to be out of the attacking third. Grand Island trying to mount a counter attack.
Counter attack, right.
That's good defense there by Strubing.
Yep. Did a nice job of sniffing that out and winning the ball from the ground forward up there.
Of course, Strubing, I believe yesterday, signed her letter of intent.
She did.
For
Congratulations
UK
to her,
softball.
Yes. I think 3 girls did yesterday.
I believe that was Mo Vorhagen and Julia Bauer.
That's right.
Here's Levine with a chance, and it's going to be knocked away by the defender. She's going to let it go out of play.
So Kearney did a nice job of switching fields there. The ball was won on the left by Straka, and they immediately worked over to the right to try to create some pressure on the opposite side.
As Levine has it in the corner, gets it over to Wheeler. Wheeler looking for someone, finds Hardy. At the 20-yard line now, it's going to get back to Wheeler.
A little quicker. The switch was the right idea. She wanted to be a little quicker. Hardy did with that. The left side of the field was open there for the switch.
And now Strubing's just going to knock it out after Grand Island tried to get by Collison there.
Jeff, I got to tell you, your soccer knowledge is growing substantially.
Thank you.
More of these games that you do, you're almost sounding like a regular soccer play-by-play guy. Been watching some Premier League in the mornings?
Oh, no. I watch some YouTube videos sometimes.
There you go.
The only thing I need is British accent.
Yeah. You get that, I'll be impressed.
As we are attacking here, the midfield's going to be Strubing, going to get it to Bennett on the far sideline. She's going to try to play it in deep for Mishu, but it's going to be knocked back into the defensive zone. Heelan's going to come out to play it. So nothing going there for the Islanders.
It's a nice play by Heelan. Not tough, but a smart play. Come out and cut those off. Turn the possession back around for your side.
She'll give it to Trout here in the midfield. Get to Wheeler. Wheeler just misplayed it.
Misplayed, right, exactly. Happens in soccer, but you hope it doesn't. She had a little bit of room you saw in front of her. It was the right ball to play over to her, though.
Islanders will
He'll be in the middle there.
As Hardy in attack, now it's going to be Strubing's going to bring it up, and now a pass. Try to get, looks like, to Bennett on the far side. Just a little off pass, and Islanders will knock it out of play.
You saw right there we talked about how Trout is pushing up in that center mid there. On that ball was, they attempted to switch, Kearney attempted to switch that ball, but Trout was caught high there. And it became an easy interception for Grand Island. Unfortunately, the ball was won back quickly. But that is a fallback of that. If you play the offensive mid-high, you kind of lose that ability to gain that possession really quick in that midfield because she's too far upfield. I'd imagine that she's being told right now to check back a little bit when Grand Island has possession. If we win the quick ball back, then she'll be in the position to receive that switch and then turn it upfield.
Kind of a misplay. The Islanders will try to play it in for forward. Collison's going to be on the run for it, and Islander tripped. And so we'll go out of play. Bearcats will have it.
I think you see some offensive strategy right here from Grand Island. The last 2 times they've won the ball in midfield, they sent a long ball over top, trying to catch their striker on the run there. Right now, our center backs are staying with them. I mean, they're going to have to do that all game. One missed ball there, then they're on top of your keeper, sometimes by themselves 1v1. Those are really tough situations.
Here's a pass in deep, but header. Now here's a chance the shot's going to go wide. And so it'll be a goal kick coming for Kearney. So Grand Island's had some promising counterattacks, just not being able to execute and get it fully into the attacking third. Couple substitutions in.
Subbing 2 midfielders. They get worn out first. So no surprise there. Give them a little rest and then get them back in.
Checking in was Madeline Holden and Carrie Strubing. As Wheeler and Island try to play it, it's going to go in deep, but Collison will be there. Wolfing off fast. Islander trapped in the corner, though. She's going to get it away.
Nice battle by Straka there.
And it's going to be out of play in the favor for the Bearcats' possession.
Collison did a nice job on the center back play there. The outside back got beaten. She swept on over and challenged that. Exactly what a center back do. And the Grand Island girl player won it for a while, and she stayed there. She didn't fall back right away and open up that space. and the outside back fell behind her, and it worked out pretty well. When you run the system well, it works out. It works out well for you if you keep doing that. You got to keep your focus and concentration to do that. It's easy to back off or easy to make a wrong run or a wrong move, and the lack of communication has to stay very high. A lack of communication is very tough for those back four and those defensive mids as well. If that falls apart, it's a really tough system to play.
As Ashley Ringline checks in. So, Ringline checks in for Bennett. And now the Bearcats will play it at the midfield. Straka is going to play it up head. Mishu on the run for it.
Try to use her speed there.
Almost beat the Islander defender. She'll just hit out of play. Probably one of the better plays she could have done right there.
She was kind of stuck right there. I think she had to play it out.
Wheeler throws it in to Straka. Straka makes a nice move to get by the defender. She's going to play it in. Looked like he tried to look for Mishu down low, but cuffed up by the goalkeeper, Jordan Giddison.
I think Kearney has some time as they're penetrating that final third, their offensive third. I think they have some time to kind of get their head up and look around a little bit. Not necessarily sending blind balls in there, but the one that Bennett hit off the post. Alexis had time. She looked up and placed that ball nicely on the ground. Those will work. So the blind ball, it's a 50-50 shot. Sometimes you're on, sometimes you're off. I do think they have time to take that look here. And hopefully they'll get that communicated. Coach Anderson will to them to take a breath there, hold the ball. I mean, you want to be quick with it. You can't take too long. But if you got time to look and place it, you should do that. And Grand Island is giving them some space down there.
Sometimes it looks like they're playing like the zone in basketball.
Yeah,
you don't want that here.
No, eventually that backfires. Eventually you can get away with it on corner kicks a little bit. We actually, on the boys' side, we run a partial zone on corner kicks. We can put a guy in each post, and then the two center backs, one has the front half of the goal, one has the back half of the goal, and everybody else man marks. So they take an area, everybody else takes a person. And that works pretty well. But you're right. If you're all zone, it's really easy to get in that zone and miss somebody.
As it went out of play for the Islanders, so the Bearcats will have a goal kick. It looks like it's Collis and going to be kicking it out. And when you look at each team's record, you have to think that the strength of schedule will play into how good each team is. And the Bearcats, I think, both have had good schedules, but Kearney has looked like they have a substantially better schedule.
We played some really tough teams this year.
Kearney's losses came to teams with a combined record of 30-8. But with Grand Island, all their losses came with teams 500 or better. There was a couple games that were probably toss-ups, maybe ones they should have won, or gets possibly Lincoln High at the beginning of the season. But this isn't a team I think the Bearcats shouldn't take lightly.
No, I mean, we said before, against the Grand Island team, no matter what the records are, you kind of throw those away. And in soccer, I think you make a mistake anytime you take a team lightly. It's one of those weird games where if somebody outplays you as far as just effort, they can come away with a win. And there are such things as lucky bounces. I mean, in soccer, maybe more some other games, I think. I did not notice until Collison took that last free kick, or goal kick, excuse me. Pretty decent wind out there. I'm looking at the flags right now, and Kearney is playing into the wind. And they're still getting good possession. They're still getting some balls in there, so that's promising. And
you probably have to say that majority of this game has been played around the midfield.
Yes.
Only a couple chances being really in deep in the attacking third, but just only a couple chances for each team. As he was playing deep for Levine, but to be get us in, going to come out and play it. Smart decision there.
I'd like to see the outside strikers, who are Ringline and Levine right now, come off their defender a little bit. Their defender is doing a nice job of man marking him on the outside, and then we're kind of forced to send a ball kind of in there and hope for the best. If they can check back or make an earlier move and get a little space before the ball's sent, they might have a chance to get past them.
And here's Mitchie with a chance. She's going to take a shot. It is up and over.
Don't mind that decision to shoot there at all. That wasn't bad. Could have been a little bit of execution, but she got enough space there. The defender's quite a bit ways off her. Sometimes those shots we talked about last game, the shots from outside loosen up the defense, force them to come out a little bit and create some space behind them.
Number 16, Jocelyn Covarrubias.
So, I don't think any real good opportunities for Grand Island.
No.
And we've had about 2 or 3 for Kearney. The post shot from Bennett, and of course, just the shot that just went a little bit high for Mishu.
It's a nice run to space right there. Nice ball from Lexi. Send it out there to her.
So she's going to play it in, a little push there, but she's going to come away. Possession, she's going to kick it off an Islander. Throw in coming for the Bearcats. As we are halfway through this first half, still not at 0 apiece. Wheeler will throw it in for Straka, right back to Wheeler. Wheeler's going to play it in deep. It's going to be Gittison who will just play it, though. Looked like she was possibly going for Levine there. Gittison will get downfield, and on the run for the Islanders was Melissa Contreras. Goes out of play, though. Bearcats will have the throw in as we have substitution coming in. So Straka coming out for Hannah Hardy.
It's that third midfielder. I told you. I thought that Coach Anderson tried to give all the midfielders a little bit of rest. Hardy's back in. Straka gets dressed now a little bit. Those 3 midfielders have to work hard in the system, really hard. They're going back and forth. They're helping the offense. They're helping the defense as well. And they have to stay compact, not let anything by them. So it's an exhausting spot to play on the field here today.
And as I look at who has jerseys, the yellow jerseys on and off, it looks like Coach Anderson has really rotated about 3 or 4 girls off the bench.
Yeah. I think that's pretty typical. That's pretty typical until you kind of see which way the game's going to go. Hopefully to our advantage. But if we do get a couple goal lead, I think you'll see some more subs come in. You know, of course, in Nebraska high school soccer, it's free substitution. But there's just something about coaches, I think most of them still, in their minds, limit the subs a little bit. You know, professional soccer, of course, you get 3. We're not bound by that by any means, but there's just this soccer philosophy that you don't have that many subs. You know, you kind of have who you start with and a couple people who maybe come off the bench. I know sometimes we have to force ourselves, the boys' side, to sub. Before the game, we talk about, okay, 20 minutes we're gonna look for a sub here, and 20 more minutes we're gonna look for this sub here. Second half we're a little less conservative. I mean, we're a little more conservative. Excuse me. We don't sub nearly as much. Again, depending how the game goes.
As we also look on the bench, playing last game Tuesday, Michaela Moore. She played against Holdridge on Tuesday. I would think we'd see her sometime off the bench, possibly here in about 7 minutes, possibly. More in the second half.
So you just Bennett back on for Levine there on the outside right striker.
So Levine is out. Bennett is in. And here's Kearney coming with the counterattack and play it downfield for Mishu. Trying to use her speed to get to it. And she'll just kick it to Gittison and we'll get it downfield.
Take a little off that ball right there. I think she'll catch those. You saw right there. She's faster than their defenders. But again, that ball runs in the turf. You got to take a little off it and let it run a little bit. Sometimes those long balls are easier on a grass field because it does hold up a little bit more for you.
Of course, on AstroTurf, it just keeps rolling.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's a nice, smooth surface, very pretty, but the ball does take off on it. And if it's wet, it's even worse. Now, fortunately, it's not wet tonight. When it's wet, it skips and takes off. As
Bennett will play it near sideline. Just looks like Kearney is on the brink of scoring a goal. Really, he's had a couple chances, just not being able to put it through. Had a couple shots go up wide. Passes just a little too much. As another substitution for Kearney is Allie Trout. Jaden Jensen for the Islanders. And I believe Whitney Straka went in there as well.
That defensive error by Jordan there. Went to a nice spot, too. There's again.
Now here's a play for it. Mishu will get it. Try to get to Bennett. She does. Here's a chance, but not a very good pass. But Trout with the rebound shot. And it just goes wide off the field goal post.
Another pretty good shot right there. Again, I'll echo. I like it. I like trying to soften that defense up a little bit.
And the way it's going right now, it seems like I think the Islander defense is going to get worn out.
I agree.
And I think the speed of Kearney will eventually hurt them more in the second half.
I think you're right. You'd like to get one before then, but if you don't, I think you keep doing what you're doing. Might have to give Mishu a little bit of a rest here.
Yeah.
If she keeps making those long runs.
I think that's where
It's
Michaela
another
Moore
nice
might
ball
come and
right
play.
there, yeah.
Bennett look for
Oh.
Mishu is behind her, but here's a
There.
rebound shot.
Oh.
It's blocked,
Oh,
and Islanders will clear it out of the zone.
really
right
good
of the
pressure
box.
there. Really good pressure there. Grand Island got a couple blocks in there, but you saw it was developing pretty nicely.
Here's Strubing on the near sideline. She's going to play it in, try to get the Mishu, but gets it to ring line. Now for Bennett in deep. Now back out will be Straka to play it. She's going to give it to Bennett here in the corner. And Bennett's going to get by the Islander defense. She's going to look for a cross. The shot by ring line is going to go right to the defender.
A few minutes ago, we talked about Mishu going out to the left and then Bennett filling in behind her. That didn't happen in the last rush. Mishu went out to the left kind of as a decoy, which is a great idea. But then Trout's offensive mid didn't push up and Bennett didn't come over, so the ball kind of went to the Grand Island player. If we can get that fixed, if we can get that rotation going when Alexis goes to the outside, I think we'll create another opportunity there as well.
As the Bearcats will have it in on a throw-in. Like they try to play it down there for Mishu, but Islander defense breaking it up. Collison steps in, and now back to Coates. Coates gives it to Bennett at midfield.
Good job in completing the switch of fields right there. 3 or 4 passes, they're outside, and
Now here's
we
a
have
chance.
Alexis on.
Mishu on the rush.
ball.
Gonna get it over to ring line. She's
There
gonna
it
take a
is.
shot
There
and
it is.
score.
Yeah, that's really pretty soccer right there. You saw the center back got it, went to the defensive mid, back to the other center back, to the outside, completed the switch. Ball up there, ball across.
Number 16, Ashley Ringline.
Ball across to Mishu to ring line, who has a nice finish there. I like when it takes 4 or 5 or 6 players to score a goal.
That was
You feel like you earned it.
Ashley ring line. The goal at the 13th minute to make it a 1-0 Kearney lead. They strike first,
You give the assist to the person who passed it to ring line.
and that's a Mishu.
That's Mishu. Really, that's one of those where you probably, if you could do it in soccer, you'd give 4 assists if you could.
Yeah.
You can't. And hockey, you can give them 2. Soccer, you only give them 1. That involved a lot of players. That's a great, great team goal. I know Coach Anderson will be happy with that.
And maybe in the mindset of Grand Island, I mean, 13 minutes, still a little bit of time in the half, but winding down,
Sure.
kind of a little demoralizing to
it's a
give
tough
up
goal
one
to
this
give
late.
up. It's a tough goal to give up with the time, and also the way they gave it up. It's frustrating when a team can do that to you. Honestly, so easily. I think the 6 girls of ours who touched it, Kearney High that touched it, I don't think a Grand Island girl touched it. The system was spread out like it's supposed to be. The girls in the right place, and Grand Island, Kearney High passed right through them. You at least as a defensive side wanted to get a touch on the ball. Makes you feel a little bad when and ineffective when you don't touch it at all and the team scores on you.
As Bearcats still playing in the zone. Here's Mishu again. Here's a chance. He's
Another
going to play it
nice
in for
ball.
Ringline again, and
Another
she
one.
score!
It's
Ashley Ringline again.
Goal number 16, Ashley Ringline.
And that's I believe that's another assist by Mishu as
Was.
well.
Yeah. What's happening there, we talked earlier that those outside strikers need to lose their defenders, and that's exactly what they've done in the last 2 plays.
And so, again, for the second straight game, they've scored goals within a minute. And so it's 2-0 in the favor of Kearney.
Substitution for Islanders, number 11, Olivia Mitinen.
Coach.
For the Bearcats, number 13, Emma Rydell.
Grand Island coaches.
And so, Kearney leads with 12:30 left. 2-0. 2-0. As the Islanders trying to get something back, but again, they just have not been able to establish anything offensively.
It's unusual, but that second goal, it wasn't quite a carbon copy of the first one, but it ended the same way. Ball into Mishu and the ball across to ring line because she's losing her defender. If you, inside that, inside 12 yards, inside the 18, if you can lose that defender as an outside striker, you have a great potential to score. And ring line has finished 2 in a row the exact same way. Also mentioned earlier, and it's worked out. We have a handball right there. If they can get their head up inside the 18, and you notice both times on the assist from Mishu, her head was up. She saw where ring line was. She was able to get the ball with a good pace out in front of her. Both of them became pretty easy finishes. It's that, as opposed to that blind ball where you can't really see it and you're kind of guessing where it's going. I mean, sometimes you guess correctly, but a lot of times being able to see it works much better.
And so, with 11:20 left in the half, it's 2-0 Kearney. 2 goals within a minute. Second straight game that has happened. And this time it's by Ashley Ringline. 3rd goal in the last 2 games. As Heelan plays it in the midfield. And the thing about Ringline, she comes off the bench to give that boost, I believe. Or does she start? Oh, here's a chance. It's going to be Bennett looking for something. She's going to take a shot, but it's Dennison who's going to make the stop.
I think a pass across, if she could have just held that ball for a second, cut back, lost the defender, get that head up again, and roll that ball across. We talked about how nicely it rolls on turf. Those are tough ones for a defender to stop if it's rolling across there. The offensive player, either Ringline or Michu, had a really, really hard shot to stop right there. Looking at a goal kicker, I'm looking around. I see the Grand Island coaching staff down there. Their assistant coach was an assistant at Lexington the last couple of years. He moved to Grand Island. His name is Brandon Hannafy. He's an Irish. He's an Irish national. He came over here to play soccer, played at York College. One of our assistant coaches, Troy Salzman, played for him when he was coaching at York. Fantastic soccer coach. And I love his accent, too, by the way. I would imagine the longer he's with Grand Island, I know he's teaching there now. He's an English teacher. The longer he's there, I think you'll see Grand Island get better and better. He's got a great soccer mind.
And now it looks like it's going to be a corner. And it will be Lauren Strubing to kick it away. I think the second corner kick of the game for Kearney. And here's the corner. That's a good corner right there. A header chance. Here's a rebound for Michu. And Ginnison with the stop. Here's another chance by Bennett. It's blocked, and Ginnison's going to come up with it.
Good chance. Could have been a better effort by Michu. The ball, she got underneath the ball a little bit and popped it up. She hits that clean. It's not going to be stopped. She'll be disappointed with that one.
And now here's Grand Island on the counter attack.
It was a great corner kick by Strubing, though.
As Strubing's gonna, but it's gonna be out, and a goal kick.
Right.
So it looks like Collison's gonna kick it away. Couple substitutions. It looks like Harry Strubing checks in for Allie Trout.
Checking for the Islanders, number 2, Ana Oseo. And for the Bearcats, number 8, Carrie Strubing.
As we see another substitution. Bearcats lineup. Looks like that's Wheeler. The Bearcats will play it in. Islanders kind of in the midfield, but Bearcats will come up with it and they'll play it in.
Looks like Coach Anderson moves Straka back to the outside right defender there.
As a pass in deep looking for Bennett is played out by the Islanders as Strubing's going to header it back in. Looking for Ringline there on the far sideline. 7:45 left here in this first half. 2-0 Kearney on goals by Ashley Ringline in the 12th and 13th minute as a foul is committed there by an Islander. It looks like that is number 10, Bailey Pauley. Strubing will give it to Collison for a free kick. Here's a kick by Collison in deep, looking for a header. Here's a rebound for Bennett, and still in the box. Michu with a shot, and it's going to be an own goal. It's an own goal for Kearney.
So
for the Islanders.
Really nice free kick by Collison there. I mean, she got that ball down into the mess there. It was really nice.
At the 33-minute mark.
Ball kept in nicely by Bennett. I thought the Grand Island defender could have done a little better job with that. I thought she was going to play it out for a corner. In hindsight, she probably should have. Kept it in, and any own goal is forced. I mean, it goes in the book as an own goal because it came off a defender, but it doesn't go in by itself. It was a nice, hard, low shot by Mishu, and she gets a nice friendly bounce on that.
And so it is 3-0 Kearney. They've just been able to.
33-minute mark. 3-0 Kearney Bearcats.
They've just been able to pack on the goals here in the last 15 minutes
Kind
of
of
this
come in
half.
bunches here, haven't they? Like you said earlier, that we see it coming. The pressure was there. Just needed a few more better balls in the last third, and they got those. 3 of them here.
Yeah, Strubing's going to throw it in on the far sideline. 6:25 left in this first half. Getting goals coming from Ashley Ringline in the 12th and 13th minute. Or excuse me, I'll calculate around in the late 20th minutes. We'll calculate that half. But the 33rd minute, an own goal by Grand Island to make it 3-0 Kearney. As Avery Carlson plays it on the sideline for Strubing. Strubing's going to get it by. The defender is going to play it in deep, looking for Levine. Levine battles for it. And to be kicked out, but Straka will kick it on the sideline for Wheeler.
Nice. That was a nice run up there. There you go.
It's nice movement right now for Kearney. As here's a chance. It looks like that might have been Moore who just got bumped a little. She didn't get ran into that Island defender. That's a good opportunity.
You know what you said earlier, Jeff. I think our speed is getting to Grand Island in that we're outrunning them a little bit, but they're tired. They're back 4 plus the 2 mids are really worn out, and it's making the lanes a little bigger. Things are opening up a little more, and I think the goals are a direct result of that.
So senior Jesse Vasquez checking in for the Bearcats, and then Jada Jensen for the Islanders checking in as well. As here's a corner from Strubing. Here's a nice corner by header. Looks like by Vasquez, just went wide.
Nice to go in and be in there for 5 seconds, get a chance to score. That was really nice. She's in the right place at the right time. Just couldn't quite get it directed on their head. Good power on the header.
So another good opportunity for the Bearcats, but they still lead 3-0. As here's Moore. Try to get it to Vasquez, but it's kicked out for Wheeler at the near sideline. She'll throw it in for Levine in the corner. She's going to look for something. Actually, that's a shot on that. Gittison with the save.
I'm not sure if she intended to shoot that or meant to get it across. A cross would have been better there. She had 2 offensive players more in the middle and Vasquez on the outside. The shot was a pretty easy one to snuff out there. Cross is a better decision there. I imagine she's being told that on the way by the bench right now.
As a misplay by Wheeler. The Islanders in the attacking third with a throw-in. As Coates trying to play it out. Islanders will win the battle, though. And just get back out to the midfield. Moore with the battle, and there's going to be a foul call.
Got a handball right there.
Actually, that's a handball.
Yeah, I agree with that call. Linesman this side is fantastic. He doesn't make many mistakes. I'll imagine that he's going to do the boys' game center. Yeah. Shane from Hastings, he's a really, really solid referee. Everybody makes mistakes. I get that. But he is one of the ones that don't make that many mistakes. Does a great job in calling and controlling a game. I'm excited to have him as our center ref in the next game. He was here for our Millard North game. He did a great job.
And that one was a doozy as well.
It was, yeah. Hey, there aren't many boring games when the boys play. It's every team is really, really good. Not to say that the girls aren't, but there's a little more separation sometimes with girls soccer. They're even the teams maybe don't have the best record on the boys' side are pretty good. They're pretty athletic, and anything can happen any night. And we were talking scores last game on Tuesday. Southeast beat Norfolk.
2-1.
Records kind of get thrown away.
And I believe the Grand Island boys picked up a victory against Columbus as well.
They did 2-0. Which I wouldn't call it an upset by any means, but Columbus had a better record coming in. They were on a little bit of a streak, and we beat them in the GNAC finals. But They lost the game before the GNAC tournament, but they were undefeated until then. So they've lost 3 in a row now, which I would guess that no boys soccer watchers anticipated. They're a really, really solid side.
And it's funny because I looked at the Islanders' schedule, and boys, and 5 out of their 9 matches have gone to extra time.
Yeah, 3 in a row at GNAC. They won all 3 GNAC games in a shootout. That's very unusual. Very unusual. As strange as shootouts are, and as many crazy things that happen, it's really tough to win 1 or 2 in a row. They've won 3 in a row in the same tournament. I mean, same basic 3-day stretch. We've been fortunate on shootouts as well. We've won 3 shootouts in a row as well. Omaha, Bryan, Norfolk, and then the GNAC finals against Columbus. I mean, honestly, we're fortunate, as Grand Island is fortunate as well. You could easily be 0-3 in those games as 3-0.
As Levine going to play it in deep for Kearney, but coming away with it. Islanders was Para Valencia is going to try to play it down there for Contreras, Melissa Contreras, but she'll have to throw it in the attacking third for the Islanders with a minute to go here in this first half.
1 minute remaining.
And it looks like they're going to get a foul there. So it'll be a free kick for Kearney. The defense doing really, really well for the Bearcats here this first half.
Very solid back line today, I agree. I'm not letting much penetration. Any kind of ball gets past them, they're collecting right away. Grand Island's not able to get runs past them and balls passed on to them there. Get a little ball over the top like that, but then keeper's doing a nice job of snapping that thing up. Well, she didn't pick that one up. You didn't have to play that out. It was from off of a Grand Island player. I feel it's always safe from the keeper's hands.
So it will be a throw-in. Contreras. Looks like Coates and Strubing down there defending. I mean, it's going to be a corner for Grand Island.
6.
Up, and I don't know if they're going to be able to get this
They're
away.
going to have to hurry.
3, 2, 1.
Here's play, and they're not going to get it in time. And at the end of the first half, Kearney off 2 goals by Ashley Ringline and an own goal by Grand Island. It's 3-0 Bearcats. We'll take a break, come back with stats, scores, and get you ready for the second half between Kearney and Grand Island. Kearney leads it 3-0. We welcome you back live here to Kearney. We are just the dwindling seconds of halftime between the Kearney girls and Grand Island. The score is 3-0 Bearcats. We got some stats for you. We're only able to get down Kearney's. So, with the goals have been Ashley Ringline with 2 of them, and to go along with 2 assists have been Alexis Mishu for the Bearcats. They have 10 shots on goal with 2 corner kicks, and that own goal being off a corner kick off the deflection of one of the Islander defenders. I'm your host, Jeff Ekstrom, along with my partners, Cannon Rack, Zach Warnke, Sean Carson, and my color man, Nate Mishu. So, Nate, when you saw the first half, what were your thoughts?
I thought it was a good first half from the ladies. That 4-3-3, the last time that we were on doing this when they were playing Lexington, they've seen a lot of goals start to come in. Had a decent week at GNAC. Unfortunately, they weren't playing for first place, but that's all right. But I think the 4-3-3 has really helped them increase their goals, and I think they've got a lot of confidence. You're seeing that on the field, again, being up 3-0 on a decent GI team.
And I think what really helped has been the coming off injury has been Alexis Mishu scoring, I think, about 5 goals in the last 3 games.
I think you're about right, if not even more than that. Honestly, I think that's been one of the better changes for the girls is putting her back up top. Her, I think, being one of the leading goal scorers coming back for the Bearcats last year. Needed to solidify some things in the back because they are very young in the back, as most of you guys know. But right now I think she's a little bit better goal scorer from them. And I think the 2 center backs are holding down the fort, and I don't think there's a reason for them to switch it. And I think Tammy and her staff have done a great job in recognizing the things that they need to do and making the switch, and you're seeing the girls starting to win games because of those decisions.
And so you get ready, set for kickoff. So in GI's perspective, down 3-0, what do you think they need to fix to really at least get something going?
They need to start working the ball a little bit. They really haven't really touched the ball, to be honest with you. It's been a lot of clearing out to the Bearcat ladies, and then the girls just going right back at them again. They need to establish maybe 2 or 3 passes, get 2 or 3 passes in a row, and maybe start going forward, because basically it's just they're defending with their lives and trying to get the ball out.
And so Strubing's going to throw it in. The holding going to try to play it deep for Bennett. They can't. And so as we see the forward group, it looks like we got Alexis Mishu, Rihanna Bennett. Can't tell where her number is out there. Might be Levine. I think it might. Yeah, I think it is Levine. She's out there as well. So kind of a younger group. We got Mishu, who's a sophomore, Levine, a freshman, and then Bennett is a senior. As he was playing, but Ginnison will come up with the stop. And if you're Kearney, I think you just got to keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think they've taken a lot of strides since that Lexington game, as a team, and obviously goal scoring. I think their confidence is starting to go up, and what better time to start playing a little bit better soccer than towards the later end of the season, where you need to play good soccer, and you can't keep losing games at that end of the time of the year, and going into state and into districts, it's a better seed for them if they start winning some games.
And the schedule gets a little more difficult for the Bearcats as we head more into the season. They faced a very good team at Middle North in their season opener, lost 7-0 that game. That's kind of a rough game, really, to start your season. Middle North, of course, being one of the better soccer programs in the state of Nebraska.
Exactly, and typically they have at least 1 or 2 girls who go on and play Division I, if not even play for some of the youth national teams here. So I think that it's a good challenge for them to kind of see where they are, but I would assume they'd even play a little bit better now, trying to figure things out for them.
They won against Omaha Burke in shootout. Then Omaha Chesney won 1-0 that game. Lost to Norfolk in a close one, 1-0. Of course, Norfolk, I think in the PowerPoints rankings, they're in the top 3.
Yes.
And very, very good soccer program as well. The boys are actually not too decent themselves.
Yeah, no, both of Norfolk's teams are actually pretty good, and I think the girls have a very tough schedule. A lot of the girls' teams that they played early on are very highly ranked teams, so I think that's kind of a harder start to the season for them. But they're starting to win the games that they need to win, which is good. So, maybe they squeak one in there versus a top 10 team that kind of gets their confidence boosted even more.
Then they travel to Lincoln Southwest. Kind of a rough day for both boys and girls at that time. Both losing to Southwest. The girls losing 3-1. Then went on, came home, beat Lexington 5-0 before the GNAC Conference Tournament. They were then seeded as the number 4 seed, lost to Columbus in a heartbreaker, 1-0 in a shootout, and then went on to win 2 straight games, beating Lexington 8-1, and then Gehring 5-0 to get 5th place. Of course, this will be the second to last year Kearney will be in the GNAC.
Yes.
So, but I think a solid tournament for the Bearcats, considering that they lost a lot of seniors from last year's state tournament team, and I think they like the way they're going right now.
Exactly, and I think that's when, after that Columbus loss, I think that's when Coach Anderson ended up switching things a little bit and moved Alexis up top, and she's clearly seeing the benefits from having it the last, they've won 3 in a row right now, and their back 4, I think, is playing, extremely well. Only giving up 1 goal or 2 goals in the last 3 games. That's good for those players in the back to have some confidence and, give Tammy some confidence in her decision.
As Bearcats will play it into the offensive third here. Strubian's going to play it in, but Gittison will be there after this. They will have the Lincoln Southeast invite this Saturday. I believe we don't have confirmed of the teams for the girls. For the boys' side, it was Elkhorn South, Lincoln Southeast, and Bellevue West, so probably similar teams for the invite for the girls as well.
Yes.
And then after that invite, they will have North Platte next Tuesday. We will have that here covered as well on Strive TV. Then they travel to Columbus. That one should be a dogfight as well, as, of course, Columbus beat Kearney in the first round of the GNAC Conference Tournament in a shootout. Then they Then they travel to North Star, travel to Lincoln East to finish the year in Hastings. So kind of a rough little road trip to end the season there.
I think they had 3 home games this year, and this is the second one of them. So, very, sad for the seniors that they don't get to play at home as much on the, especially on a great facility that they have here now. But I think that they've had a good senior year so far, and hopefully, they're going to play some tough teams. That's definitely for sure. Listening to that schedule, that they can, win the games they need to, but get a win out of the, a couple of those hard games, where they may not even be expected to win, and outplay themselves and give them some confidence in a good, district seed, and maybe, maybe even host here. Who knows, or get a good 2 seed.
Yeah, I think the realistic thing to play for, I think, would be a number 2 seed in their district.
Yeah, very much agreed. And I think, if they can be one of the better 2 seeds, they get a little easier of a schedule for playing a 1 seed. So I think they kind of just need to keep going on the road that they're going, pick up a good PowerPoint win for them here later in the season, and then they have to win the games that they're expected to win.
Here's play indeed. Alexis Mishu, you can get it to Bennett. Here's a chance. She will score!
That's a great goal right there.
Rihanna Bennett with the goal to make it 4-0 Kearney. And again, on the assist is Alexis Mishu.
I tell you what, those 3 up top those 3 have a nice little tandem together, just playing very well these last now 4 games, just banging in goals for the girls.
So Hannah Hardy checks in for the Bearcats as Rihanna Bennett taps in a goal to make it a 4-0 game, and this is when you might see more substitutions coming in for both teams.
And I think the girls will do that here, in the next 10 minutes or so. Give their starters another 15-minute little run, then start putting people and resting up for the 2 games that they're going to play this weekend. I think they need to have it'll be good for them to get a little bit of a rest for some of their girls who play a lot of minutes in the season, and as games kind of come back-to-back, weekends are hard to play. It'll be nice to get them some rest. So good on the girls for having a good performance here right now. Hopefully keep this up. That way they can get some of the girls who are on the bench, get them some playing time and some valuable minutes for them at that.
So 33 minutes left here in this half. 7 minutes in, and we got a goal by Rihanna Bennett to make it a 4-0 game here in the second half of play. And like probably what we saw from the first half is just that the speed of Kearney's finally getting to those defenders of Grand Island.
Yeah, exactly. I think the 3 that they have up top are probably the 3 quickest players on this team, and I think you set up in a 4-3-3 for that reason. You have very fast forwards who turn on the ball and just go forward, and I think that has been a huge, tremendous shift for these girls. Unfortunately, I think Whitley Straka is a little bit of an ankle injury right here, right now, as we'll see the great Mr. Limbach come onto the field.
And looks like Straka's, she's in pain. Looks like that ankle area right there. So we'll step away for a moment for injury timeout and come back. Bearcats lead it 4-0 over Grand Island. We'll be back. You're watching live here on BSN. Welcome back to Kearney. Winnie Straka walked up the field under her own power, so that's good to see. And I think, you mentioned during the break, I think it's one of those things where I think you should just leave Straka out. It's a 4-0 game, and there's no point playing
No, and they've got 2 games this weekend. There's really no point to force it. You know, she does have a little bit of a sprained ankle, possibly, but there's no reason to put her back in. They've got enough good players on the bench that I can, step right into her spot, and it'll be no problem for the ladies.
As Islanders will try to get something going here. that's Coates going to play it. Try to get to Wheeler. And it's going to be played away. Look for Strubing out of Wheeler on the far sideline. And so playing it up. Battling for it. Looks like that is Hardy, and a little battle for it, but go off an Islander. So the Bearcats will throw it in. So, Nate, when you watch from the first half to the second half, any formation changes that you notice from Grand Island?
Nope, they're still on that typical 4-4-2. As you can see, the bank of 4 in the back, the bank of 4 in the middle, and they leave those 2 high. That's typically one of the easier systems to play. It's easier to defend in, easier for the ladies to understand what to do and where to be. And they've held a decent position so far. Maybe need to start throwing a few more towards the attacking side, to be honest with you, if they want to try to get back in this. Maybe put a third person up there, leave him, drop one of their midfielders and kind of push on a little bit. But saying that, the girls are still overpowering them. Do you want to lose 6, 7, 8 nothing, or do you want to lose 3 or 4? So
as here's Levine up, give me on the run. She's playing in the box, now back out to the far sideline. It is off an Islander, so Levine will give it to Wheeler to throw it in. She's going to get it for Trout. Trout's going to play at the mission. She's going to take a shot. It's blocked. And still Jumlin is in the box, and it's going to be back out. But Carrie Strubing will have possession. She gets her way, and she's going to take a shot, and it's hit off an Islander defender. Levine has it, and it's going to be back out there by the Islanders. But now Coates steps up, and it's blocked in by the Islanders, and it'll go back out. So, again, it just looked like Kearney having their way in the offensive zone and just being able to wait for that one pass to get in for a good opportunity.
Yeah, and they had another good opportunity there, or 2 of them actually. It's just good defending by the Islanders there, and stepping in, kind of risking their bodies and blocking the shot.
As here's Bennett in deep, I think. Are they going to be called for
Looks like
offside?
it was offsides. He hesitated about 3 or 4 times before he put his flag up there, but I do think she was in an offsides position, unfortunately.
And so the Islanders will have it on a free kick with 29:40 left here in this second half. Of course, after this, we will have the boys' game between the conference champions, Kearney winning the GNAC Conference Championship, and the Islanders improbably winning the Heartland Southern Conference Championship, winning all 3 games in shootout.
Yeah.
Probably not the way you draw it up, but
Hey,
for Islanders, you'll take anything.
you can't complain, right? They go down in the win column, and you know what? They move up in the rankings in the state, and to be another top 10 game that we're going to cover here. So I think that's going to be fun tonight for us.
As Trout will have it in for Kearney, she'll get along, but placed in deep for Mishu. Mishu, you get a nice pass. Levine, she's gonna get us in. That's just a nice save by the Islander goaltender.
You can't do much better than that. Obviously, that came out, closed her angle down very well, and, you know, unfortunately couldn't put it back in the net. But again, great play from the ladies up top.
And in for the Bearcats, number 16, Ashley Ringline.
As Ashley Ringline checks in for Rihanna Bennett. Ringline, of course, has 2 goals. Came within a span of 1 minute. It's like Strubing with the corner kick. Gets low. As Coates will be out wide. And she couldn't come up with a shot on goal. Now here come the Islanders trying to get something on this counter attack.
Yeah, that's kind of their best attack that they have right now, but that's very well defended right there by the Bearcats. They honestly couldn't have done anything better right there.
That was Carrie Strubing on the pressure down. She's going to step up.
Oh, that's a great ball by her as well.
Here's Ringline on in the near corner. She's going to wait there, see if she can get something. She's going to look for a cross all the way for Levine. She's in the box now, back out for Wheeler. Wheeler for Strubing. She's going to make a nice move. She's going to get it deep for, try to look for Mishu, and Ginnison jumbled it there, but she'll come up with it. As the play in the midfield, Islanders trying to get something going, but that back four, Kearney doing really, really well.
Yeah, I haven't really made a single mistake tonight. I've stayed switched on to the counterattack and defended everything and kept everything in front of them. As we see a great ball by Trout, just unfortunately that turf lets it roll out.
And that's one of the more unfortunate things about AstroTurf. It's going to roll more than, let's say, if you're in grass, and it's even worse if it's wet out on the field.
Exactly.
It's going to go
makes
flying.
that ball just zip around. But to be honest with you, that's one of my favorite things that I enjoyed playing on, was a little bit of a wet turf surface where you get that ball flying around.
This here's a goal kick. Ring line's going to intercept the pass, going to give it to Mishu. And, almost got the Trout. That was almost another great opportunity for a scoring chance. Now Strubing and go all the way into the out of play near midfield as we see Madeline Holden in for a substitution.
That's number 4, Madeline Holden.
And this is what we've been seeing again from improvement from Lexington last week to Holdridge on Tuesday. We really see the Bearcats are really starting to come on their own in the side of offensively.
Yeah, exactly. And that's again going on to Tammy and the staff, going to that 4-3-3. Definitely way more of an attacking system for the Lady Bearcats, but I do think that has been a key switch to their season so far, going from, not really scoring any goals to just starting to bang them in.
As here's Holden. Tried to play it back to Strubing, but Strubing using nice dual speed to get that out. It's ring line. Ring line to get across it to look for Mishu, and it's good defense there by the Islanders. And now we'll be back out for Strubing to set up again, looking for someone in the middle there. Rebound's going to go to ring line. A shot and save right there by Ginnison. Just perfect goalie position there.
Yep, couldn't have been in a better spot right there, and I think she saved quite a few goals by being in the right spot at the right time.
So when it comes to being a goalkeeper, I think what most people would say is all about cutting off the angles.
Yeah, and they work. I think any good keeper understands their angles and knows where to be, when to be, kind of depending on where that shot comes from. But they've also, 95% of their stuff is based on reactions. 5% I think is positioning. The other 95% is reactions and, obviously checking that ball, picking up where it's going to come and putting their body out and trying to make a save.
Now, when we come to the thing of goalkeepers, you know more of this about me, but when it comes to shootouts, is it more of kind of a guessing game since the goalkeeper is so close that it's more of you have to kind of guess where he's going to kick it and go to that position right there?
That's a great question. High school is a little different than professional. College is a little different than professional. If it's a professional game, it is tested physically impossible for a keeper to save the ball without guessing. At a professional level, the ball comes too fast from 12 yards out that a keeper cannot pick that up physically, no matter how great their range is, without guessing which way the ball is going. It cannot be a reaction save. High school, college, you can have a reaction save. Obviously, none of these ladies are professional, and the ball doesn't come quite as fast, and placement isn't quite as good. So a keeper can stand there and wait and make it completely off reaction where that ball goes and still cover it, which puts a lot more on the shooter to be better, because a keeper can still do that and not even guess at this level. So it puts a lot more pressure on the penalty taker to hit their spot, actually, which kind of makes the goal a little bit more advantage for a keeper at this level.
And so that's probably why we see probably a little more low scoring. I mean, professional and college are low scoring as well, but you probably see a little more low scoring here in high school, considering that, you get probably more reaction time.
You get a little bit more of a reaction time as a keeper, and they have a little bit more time to save it. But at any age, 5 years old to professional, people are going to miss. People are going to make great saves. It's just, honestly, it's a coin toss, and it's all about your shooters and picking your top 5. And, you assume your top 5 are going to make it, and you know what? You tell your goal, you make 1 save, we'll make our 5 shots, and that's how you win the game. That's how I explain it when I coach. I talk to my keeper. I say, you make 1 save. These guys are going to bang in all their 5, and that's how and that's your plan. You just make 1 save or make them miss 1 time.
And as we back on the play, we got to see Whitley Straka coming back in. Looks like,
hey,
maybe a little bit of tape on that ankle, but she seems fine out there.
Fine. Maybe get a little run out to keep some of that swelling down that can kind of accumulate during, if you're not playing, kind of just letting it sit there.
And with the goalkeepers in mind, so especially in high school, what do you tell your keepers when you get advice on certain guys, depending on their right-footed, left-footed? Do they, depending on certain information, do they guess more, or do they kind of react more to do they try to go more to the right side or left side or top corners? Or
most varsity players typically have a pretty decent control on their shot, so it's a lot of just reaction for them. Honestly, there's not much other than sitting there saying, hey, don't give out early, try to go for things if you can. I still feel at this age, there's, even for the ladies, a keeper has to guess a little bit to have an idea, hey, am I going to go left or right, based on which way their body's leaning. Are they wrong? Yes. Do they look silly sometimes? Yes. But it's that one time that you do get it right that you make probably one of the best saves of your life and one of the best saves of the season, So it's just a little bit of, risk for reward. Are you going to guess, or are you going to do it completely off reaction? I kind of tell my keepers, go with whatever you feel like, and you know what, just make 1 for me.
As we see Madeline Holden try to play in for ring line, it's kicked around, out of play. Kearney will still have it, and they're still in possession as we are almost halfway point of this second half. Looks like we got a injury timeout. It looks like we'll get a couple substitutions in.
Yep, each team can bring in 1. I guess it's a throw-in, so everyone can come in. They're not deeming it an injury here.
Number 13, Emma Rydell.
And as we see for the first time this game, and first time on Strive TV, we got number 13, Emma Rydell, sophomore defender. So it's another underclassman for the Bearcats, as looks like 6 on the varsity roster. So Kearney, very young team, and they're going to be good in the future as ring line with a shot saved by Ginnison.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a positive thing for the Bearcats, is, the good future that they have. But credit to the seniors for taking, the younger people under their wings and kind of straightening them out and getting, teaching them to be leaders. Because I think the 6 seniors that they have on this team are great people in general, and, great leaders, and can show the girls how to do it the proper way.
And it's funny because they got senior starters in probably each senior is about in one certain area. Lawrence Strubing's at the defender side, lead that group of defenders. Get Ryan Bennett in the striker's position there to lead the forwards. And then you got Whitney Straka in the midfield really to lead that core. So they got good seniors in important places, and that's probably why they're on this role here.
Exactly. I think that they've had a lot of part to do with this and bringing things around. And, hopefully they can, everyone starts to build around them. They're the core for it. And they start everything. Everything kind of rolls through those 3, to be honest with you. And they've done a very good job of doing everything that they needed to. And Alexis Mishu is going to score an interesting goal, we'll say that. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, it came off the keeper's hand. Just one of her unfortunate ones where she's had so many good saves, but you can't save anything all the time. But credit to Alexis for scoring a goal.
Anything, as probably coaches like tell you, just throw it on net. You never know what's going to happen, and that's what happened right there as Alexis Mishu gets a goal, went off the hands of Ginnison, and so the Bearcats lead now 5-0.
And just as we talked about earlier, you're going to start seeing some of those subs start to fly in here for the rest of this 19 minutes and 23 seconds that we have.
So as they play at midfield, Bearcats lead at 5-0. 2 goals by Ashley Ringline, 1 by Alexis Mishu and 1 by Rhiannon Bennett to make it a 5-0 game over the rival Grand Island. Again, as I like to describe it, the best rivalry in the state.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. There's not too many things more intense than Kearney High, Grand Island at any sport.
Of course, you got the intense rivalry there with football always. That's always a good one. Same with basketball and volleyball and all those other sports.
Exactly. I think wrestling is even is probably, those two teams are always at the top of the state and always at the state tournament competing. And I think that I haven't watched too much wrestling in my days, but the couple times that I did get to get down there, I do know that is very, very intense.
And so 18 minutes to go here in this one. 5-0 Kearney really just been able to dominate Grand Island up to this point. Grand Island, nothing offensively. Considering how much pressure they've been on, I think they've done relatively well on the defensive side of things.
Yeah, only, it's still being only 5 with 17 minutes left, and the amount of saves that the keeper has made and the amount of blocked shots that the defenders have had, I think that they've done a pretty good job. Just, unfortunate for them that they haven't been able to get anything going forward, but a lot of that's credit to how the Bearcats have defended from the top up. I think the forward 3, I don't think a lot of people realize how much defending forwards actually do, but a lot of that pressure starts with them, and then the back 4 obviously not letting any counterattack or any little slip up happen, kind of cleaning everything up that they should be cleaning up.
Allie Trout's going to take a shot, blocked, but it's going to be picked up there by Moore, but it's going to be kicked back out. But here's Trout, which is a shot that goes wide and out of play. So 17 minutes to go here in this one. We'll have a short 15-minute break. We'll be back with the boys' game. So based on the time right now, it should be pretty close to what it says on the schedule.
Exactly.
So probably around a 7 o'clock kickoff.
Pending we don't get any weather.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully it holds out for us for a little while. We can at least get things started. Doesn't look too bad out here right now, which is a benefit, so that wind hasn't started moving and the temperature hasn't dropped yet.
As on the corner there, it's ring line. It's going to be hit out by an Islander. And so, looks like ring line's tying her shoe. Strubing is going to throw it in. She will. She'll get in to Rydell. Back to Strubing. She's going to try to get in the box for Michaela Moore, and she's bumped a little there. Looked like in the jaw. Here's a shot by Straka. It's blocked back out as Moore looks okay. And here she comes trying for an offensive chance, but it's kicked out by an Islander. And so with this one down, and you could probably conclude that this one's probably going to stay as it is, or maybe a couple more by Kearney. So as we look forward to the boys' game, Nate, what are you most looking forward to for that one?
I just think just the Kearney Grand Island matchup in general. I think over the last couple of years, GI has had the edge. So we'll see if Kearney can kind of come back on top.
And at the playing at the midfield, as Coates will come back for in the defensive zone, as it will be off of Bearcats, so the Islanders will have it, and they're attacking third. As looks like a substitution coming in for the Bearcats. Looks like Carrie Strubing as it's played in. Rydell could give it to Trout, and she's going to bring it up.
Oh,
And
that's a great ball right there. Look at this.
And it's a great ball, and it's on the rush as the Bearcats going to
Oh, good defending, though, right there. That was a good recovery run by the outside back.
As Gittison with the scoop up. Here come the Islanders trying to get something going, but that's good defense there by Rydell. As we see Strubing coming in, and for the Islanders, it's number 2, Anna Osejo. As we have 14 minutes left. And so, also as we look to the boys' game, probably the Islanders' best asset up to this point is the reason why they're 7-2 has probably been their defense. Their goaltender doing really well. Their back four doing pretty well. So what do you think offensively the Bearcats need to do to break through that?
Honestly, they've had a pretty good attack going forward in the last couple of games as they won GNAC and beat Lexington again. You know, I think that they have quite a bit of confidence going into this game. Going forward, you know, since they switched at Lexington a little bit, the personnel in the back and the personnel in the midfield, and I think Coach Steinberg has got everything bang on correct. That is probably one of the best decisions he has made this year for this team, and the leadership that Carson has brought to that midfield and winning balls, and that the defense has done, and that Hardy has done, and that Royce has done. I don't think that anything could have gone better from that switch from that staff.
And as Strubing kicks it in, try to get to Mishu. Now back out to Straka, who will play it on the far sideline for Wheeler. But now it's going to switch, and Coates is going to step up. As it looks like it's going to be an offside call.
I think it was a handball, maybe, yeah. It's one of those unfortunate ones.
So 12.5 minutes left here in this game. Carter leads 5-0 over Grand Island. We mentioned the Bearcats' upcoming schedule as we look for Grand Island. So after this, Grand Island will travel, or actually they will go home. They will play host to Lincoln Southeast, who defeated them in an opening round of the HAC Conference Tournament. They lost that 8-0. Then they will go to Lincoln North Star, who they lost to as well in the Heartland Athletic Conference Tournament 2-0. And then they will host Lincoln East, then host Lincoln Southwest in a couple of HAC Conference matchups
Tell you
as well.
what, those are some hard teams that they're going to face right there. Hopefully they can come away with something for it, positivity for them. But I tell you what, those are three girls teams that are very, very good, and you know, you don't really want to see later in the season, to be honest with you, because that's kind of when teams start to peak, unfortunately for them.
And it's not like you don't want Granada to lose either, because the more they win, the more those power points come more into effect for Kearney when it comes to district seeding. As we also look like playing at the midfield, but we'll look at the Class A girls rankings coming out today, according to the Lincoln Journal-Star, the most up-to-date rankings. For the girls, number 1, Omaha Marion, the defending Class A champs, but they lost a close one, 3-1 against Millard West on Tuesday, but that was the second game in a row they played against Millard West, and they had to play in the Metro tournament. They had to play Millard West the championship. They play Omaha West Side. I believe they had to play Millard North as well. Those are all top 5 teams. So it was just a matter that they just ran out of gas, and that's kind of what was expected with that rough stretch of games right there.
Exactly. I mean, to get out of those games with only one loss, honestly, is a pretty good pretty good deal for them. But I mean, they're obviously always one of the top teams in Class A for the ladies, and they produce just some amazing players out of that school, and it's fun to actually go to kind of get to go down to state to watch them.
As Ground trying to get something done, but Coates on the defense, and it's going to be Kelsey Clark just checking in. She's a senior. Played varsity on the state tournament basketball team earlier this year. And now here's Sydney Wheeler on the far sideline. She'll give it to Vasquez. Now Wheeler is going to push
That's
the
a
pace.
great ball by Wheeler right there.
As Mishu now looking for something. She's going to be
defending
off
again.
Islander. So corner coming for the Bearcats. From our unofficial stats, it looks like it is their third and own goal for Grand Island to coming on a corner. So with the final 9 minutes of this half, looks like it's going to be Lauren Strubing with the corner. That's a low corner right there. It's just going to go out, and another corner coming. We also have a couple substitutions waiting for Kearney. It's going to be Hannah Hardy and Michaela Moore. Strubing will just give it to Wheeler here on the far sideline, the corner now.
That's
She's
a
going to
great
get
ball
in,
right there.
and a chance,
Oh.
and it's going to go out. Looked like it went off. It looked like it went off Vasquez. So Grand Island will have a goal kick.
Great ball by Wheeler there to put it back in the mixer.
Number 18, Michaela Moore.
And so as we round out the rankings, number 1, Omaha Marion. Number 2, Millard West. As expected, Omaha West Side moving up to number 3 after ranking number 7 in the last set of rankings. Number 4 is Millard North, who the Bearcats played in their season opener. Number 5, Lincoln Southwest, who the Bearcats played as well. Number 6, Millard South. Number 7, Lincoln Southeast. Number 8, Bellevue West. And number 9, Papillion La Vista. And number 10 is Lincoln East. And it's funny because I look on there and there's no one outside of Lincoln or Omaha.
Nope, and that's kind of typically how it goes, to be honest with you.
And it's funny because ranked number 9, Papillion La Vista, they're 4 and 6.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is to do with who they play and how many times they've played them. I think a lot of the girls' teams in theirs are, you know, so a couple of them are 6 and 4, 5 and 4, 5 and 5, 5 and 3. You know, not. I mean, our girls' records are the same as them. It's just kind of the teams that they play and how many times they've played them is the only difference for that rating.
And so and they have as their contenders, they have Norfolk and Papillion La Vista South.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the girls play a couple of those teams coming up, so I think you could maybe see them squeak in there if they come up with a few victories in those games.
And for Kearney's schedule, it's not like it's been easy. They
No.
have played the games they have lost come with teams with a combined record of 30 and 8. So they played Middle North. They played Norfolk. They've really played really good teams, and I think that will help them down the road as we get late here into the season, into districts.
And I think you're seeing that now with the last, 4 performances that they've now put on, and looks like hopefully they get another clean sheet tonight. But I mean, goals are starting to go in for them. The girls have what looks to see a little bit more bounce in their step because, you know, they're playing good soccer, and it's good to see, and it's the right time to start hitting a little bit of a high and start peaking.
6 minutes left in this second half. Kearney leads at 5-0. As we look at the grand scheme of things in this game, I think it's been a story of the offensive chances each team has had. Unofficial stats, we have Kearney with 19 shots on goal. We didn't keep track of the Islanders' chances or shots on net, but it really seemed like they maybe got 2 or 3, just nothing offensively. The Bearcats did a really good job defensively.
Exactly, and I think that's a credit to that change that they made in that back line and holding strong and playing some good defense and, you know, initiating attack with the possession that they can start with that sometimes.
Holden with a shot that deflected off an Islander in And it will be Moore who's battling with it there in the corner. She'll give it to Holden. She's going to try to play it in the box, but the Islanders will get it out. And now Struve played it. Looks like she's a little gimpy coming off that battle. And now Coates.
That's great defending by Coates right there. Hopefully she can get the ball off her foot just like that and relieve a little bit of that pressure.
As Wheeler took the place of Coates, and now she'll try to get away here on the far sideline in the final 4.5 minutes. As Rydell plays it to Vasquez on the far sideline. She'll try to play it in for Moore.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think they called foul on that one, and I think that's the right call.
that's a good thing because she looked like she was going to turn and go through on goal right there.
So free kick. Looks like Kelsey Clark. No, it looks like they're going to bring up Avery Collison to take the free kick. She'll play it, kick it in the box. It's going to be brought back out, but Clark will be there to cut it off.
Just a little too far to shoot there, I think, it being from about 31, 32 yards. Would have been kind of fun if she would have shot.
And now Grand Island trying to get a counterattack going, but again, Jordan Coates down there to defend. Hannah Harding coming up behind there for Grand Island was Kelly Contreras. And now it's played back out into the attacking third for Kearney. It's going to be Michaela Moore.
That's a great ball by Moore right there.
Play for Vasquez on the far side. She'll work it in. Ooh, and it looks like just went off her foot a little too hard.
It's a little too big of a touch there.
Substitutions. Number 17 for the Grand Island Islanders, Trina Argueta. For the Bearcats,
Two more substitutions.
Number 13, Emma Rydell. And number 15, freshman Aggie Larson.
Aggie Larson and Emma Rydell coming in for Kearney to finish out these last 3 minutes. Game out of hand. So getting those girls usually don't get to play, get them good experience for next year.
And even later on in the
Yeah,
season to
later
pick
on
up
see
some
the
minutes,
depth.
to be honest with you. You're going to see some of the depth that the girls do have and can use.
And so the ball is going to be played there on midfield. It's going to be Wheeler who's going to throw it in. Look for Vasquez on that far sideline, but it's out by the Bearcats, so the Islanders will have the possession. So the final 2:20 as we get closer to the prime time match of the night between the Grand Island boys and Kearney. Grand Island, the Heartland Athletic Conference champion, and Kearney, the Greater Nebraska Athletic Conference champion. Of course, these two teams won't be conference. They'll be conference foes soon enough, as Kearney being accepted into the Heartland Athletic Conference.
2 years, correct?
Yes, 2 years from now, 2 school years. They'll begin in the 2018-2019 season. It was confirmed, in fact, I think Monday or Tuesday. And so the HAC conference consists of Fremont, Grand Island, all 6 Lincoln schools, and now they will add Lincoln Pius, Norfolk, and Kearney. So they'll make it 11-team conference when it used to be 8.
That's going to be one heck of a conference right there, to be
Mhm.
honest with you. And every single sport. I don't think that all those schools are literally good at every sport that they play. So that'll be good for Kearney to bolster up the conference that they play in. While the conference is good, I think that this is a better place for them to be going forward in the future.
And what I saw earlier this week is that with that shift to power,
1 minute remaining.
it looks like it's going to be like they have the Power 5 in college football. It's going to be the Power 2 here in Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's going to be specifically in Class A, it's going to be the Metro
And
Conference, all the Omaha area schools, and then it's going to be the HAC Conference with the Lincoln schools and Norfolk, Kearney, Grand Island.
I don't think you can complain with that, though, to be honest with you. I think it's good for Kearney. Gets them a little more recognition, being in a geographical location that is a little bit further away from Lincoln and Omaha, and they don't really know about the Bearcats and all the great athletes and, student athletes that they have out here, be it drama, arts, sports, anything that this school consists of. They just don't quite have the recognition that, we don't have the recognition out here, which I think is going to be great for us and going forward in the conference and great for everyone at this school. And I think it'll really benefit us in I don't think that anyone can complain from that as a good on the athletic director and the school to get into that conference.
And really, as the game ends, the 5-0 Kearney victory. And I don't think, from the aspect of things, the only thing that might change is football, but otherwise, soccer, basketball, they play the same schedules. The only thing that changes is the conference tournament in the middle of the season.
Exactly. So I think that's it's going to be great for since we're talking about soccer, it's going to be great for both soccer teams to play in a bolstered up conference, and hopefully it gives them opportunity for more power points and better rankings. I mean, that's all it really is, and playing better teams throughout the year. It's only going to develop both the programs playing better teams year in and year out, month in and month out.
And so just to get the final statistics before we head off before the boys' game, we only got Kearney stats, and they finished with 19 shots on net with 4 corner kicks and 1 offside call. The goals coming from Alexis Mishu, 1 from her, and she had 3 assists, in fact, so she had a pretty nice day herself. Then it was Rihanna Bennett with the goal, a senior forward as well. And then leading the way, scoring-wise, was Ashley Ringline with 2 goals to lead the Bearcats. They win it 5-0. We'll take a break for a little bit. It looks like they got 20 minutes on the clock. We'll come back when it's about between 3 and 5. So about a 15-minute break. Come back with the boys' game, the Battle of Conference Champions, Kearney, Grand Island. Stick with us here on the Bearcat Sports Network.